Gotta get my face bones in order.
I like thinking of teeth as face bones.
Totally face bones.
I think you were the first person I ever heard say that.
That is actually full credit to Chris Thayer as a comic.
Uh-huh.
I can't think of the bit, but it was something about like, I better polish my teeth bones so people like me. All Chris Thayer.
Yeah.
Great comic.
I like just like that perfect joke is just like the one weird tweak. So you just see something totally differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. Let me explain what comedy is.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary Jane. So what is a laugh and how does it work? We have a show coming up. How does laughter work?
I was just saying it out loud for myself. I wasn't trying to explain it to you. I'm high, okay?
Yeah, let it all fall out the fucking brain to the hole.
Yeah, out the mouth hole from the brain place.
Yeah, I do sometimes think of that when I'm really, and I'm pretty high right now. Like it's a bunch of marbles in my brain or like a gumball machine.
Totally.
That's pretty much my mind right now. I'm a gumball machine minded boy.
Yeah. And your thoughts are the gumballs?
Yes.
And your mouth is the place where the gumball comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I put the quarter?
In
your coin slot?
Oh, you put them back behind the ear?
Yeah.
Like...
No. Did you ever see that Saturday Night Live video, the coin slot video?
No.
It was Lindsay Lohan. You know what the coin slot is, right?
It's the top of the crack of the butt.
Yeah. And it was a very funny video that Lindsay Lohan made with Amy Poehler where they were like, coin slot jeans, I think, was the product that they were selling. It was, yeah.
That's a great bit.
Yeah.
Well, what up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
Awesome. Welcome to Weed and Grub, everyone. This is a podcast about comedy,
Cannabis,
culture,
cooking,
calling shit out,
and
more comedy.
Yeah. Basically.
Totally.
And Comfy Pup.
Yep.
Our fantastic guest this week. Yeah, we've got a bunch to talk about because it's like...
Yeah, can we just do the plug at the top?
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited. Is that what you were about to do?
Well,
Should I explain how promotion works?
You explain to me how to... Yes. Please go ahead, though.
So the way that you want to get people to come to a thing is if it's a really cool thing to come to.
Yeah. And then you talk about it on your podcast. And then if you're in LA, you come to the thing.
Yeah. Or Oakland or San Francisco after.
We're working on Bay Area and Sacramento dates in October. So look for those because we are doing a comedy mini tour fueled by the awesome cannabis brand, Pacific Stone. If you're looking at our YouTube right now, we've got a bunch of their awesome products. I have these fantastic pre-rolls. They hooked us up with so much swag, and they are sponsoring this mini tour. And the first show is next week, July 27th, here in LA at a place called Club TG in Atwater Village. And you can just check out our Instagram, and there will be a link to the show. Tickets are $420.
$420. $420,000.
All the money that we raise from the show will be donated to a charity called RIP Medical Debt, which is going to erase medical debt. Pacific Stone works with them. And so proceeds from the show are going to a great cause. We've got our fantastic guest today is the Grub aspect of the event.
Makes delicious Chicago hot dogs. Michael Walker is a real G from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I love this dude. He's a good VIB this week.
It's so good. We get into it with him. So he's the our guest this week and the Grub component of our Weed and Grub live comedy show. The weed component being Pacific Stone. We're the comedy part.
Yeah, and we have a lineup. It's not just us being insufferable.
No,
stage.
It's not me being like, actually, I think a joke works like this, and then tenting my hands.
What if we do that for our intro to the show?
What?
Every single part of the Pacific Stone tour, I get out there and I say a joke, and then you pop in with the microphone.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane, and I'm here to explain why Mike got that wrong. And I'm going to make it less funny, but more informative.
Everyone's smoking Pacific Stone like, yeah,
what a
information.
Bummer. Get her off the stage. And I'm like, but my name's Mary Jane. They're like, get her out of here. So it's not going to be that.
No, it won't be. It's going to be a great time.
We have a crazy awesome lineup, actually, that I'm so stoked about. And to find out who it is, you're going to have to fucking come to the show, probably.
Yeah, if there's tickets left by the time this drops.
That's right. It's probably going to sell out.
It is going to sell out. Well, that's inevitable. Really quick. I just want to say one more time. Link to tickets in the show description. If you don't live in LA, but you know someone who should fuck with us and they happen to live in LA, maybe share the link with them.
Yeah. And also look for those dates coming out in October in NorCal. And then from there, the only way is up. I feel like we should just be hopping all around the country doing Weed and Grub live events.
Well, if it's called Pacific Stone, let's just hit up the whole Pacific coast.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
All the way from the tip to the top to the bottom where the coin slot is.
To the hizzy in the middle.
What's the coin slot of the country?
The coin slot of the country
Texas?
would probably be, it might be like the top of like North Texas.
North
right?
Texas is the coin slot of America. That's awesome.
Uh-huh. Glad we got there.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about like your last week? You've been where?
Do you want to hear all the places?
I want to hear all the places you've been since I last saw you.
Anchorage, Okay, here's the tour dates. If we were to like do a little Indiana Jones plane
Oh yeah.
over my recent tour, I'd be Indiana Scones. Love a scone.
What?
And my hat's a
Not
croissant.
Indiana Stones?
Ah, shit.
Damn it. Missed an opportunity to make a stupid weed pun.
Well, but now say it. I'll do. So it'd be like a Indiana Jones plane going around the thing. Or I guess no. Who would I be? Not Indiana Jones.
What? I'm totally lost
I was
track.
setting you up to say Indiana Stones because it was your joke.
Oh, but I already said it.
Yeah, and it was funny. It was funnier then than it's going to be now.
It was funnier in my stoned rambling than it was with you giving me a perfect setup of me just whiffing.
So come to the show, guys. This is our hosting.
I'm so good at telling jokes, guys. It's gonna be really fun. Don't worry about it. The show is not. I will be there. I will be hosting. I might try and tell a funny story, but Mike will be doing comedy along with a lineup of professional comics.
So I flew out of LA up to Anchorage, Alaska. Had a great time, great show, great people. And then flew from there directly to Monterey,
where I saw you,
where you saw me, and we went out into the middle of the Pacific Ocean with some sharks, and then immediately went from there. We drove back from Monterey to Los Angeles, and then I immediately got in a car and drove up to Bishop, California to perform.
Which is in the Sierras, right?
Which is in the Sierras, so it's like a 5-hour drive. And then that night we stayed overnight, woke up the next day, drove over to Mammoth and hung out at Mammoth Lakes, which I'll talk more about on another podcast. But the lake there is really interesting, fascinating, and cool. Mono Lake. And then immediately after that, didn't stay in a hotel overnight, instead drove all the way back to Los Angeles, got caught in traffic because there was a terrible accident. I don't know how many people lived or died, but it was a bad accident. Got back here last night. This weekend I leave for Sacramento, San Diego, Portland, and then Seattle. Come all the way back from Seattle and then hop on a plane to Scotland.
I'm so tired.
I'm also tired.
For you.
I'm tired.
Okay, well, let's get to our
But my
news.
dreams are coming true. So, like, that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I will never complain about my dreams coming true. And they are coming true in real time. And I'm keenly aware of this is everything I've ever wished for, whether it was a shooting star, a genie, a birthday candle. This has always been my wish. I've been putting out into the universe through all those totems. And now that it's really happening, I don't care how tired I am. This is exactly what I want to do with my life. So let's fucking go and ride it till the ends of the earth.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
And you know what'll get you through? Podcasting with me and weed and food.
You're damn right. Oh, and the Pacific Stone, like to actually have a show in LA. What a goddamn blessing. So
I'm so stoked to be, this is like, when I moved to LA, I was like, how am I going to dovetail my love for actually being in front of an audience with my life in cannabis?
Mm-hmm.
And this just feels like the perfect beginning of that dovetail really firming up. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that Indiana Stone joke going over
you
so
really
poorly
fucked
afterwards.
that up, Mike.
What's the news this
I'm
week?
going to tell you a news story, our Grub Gazette this week. Let's just say it's brought to us by Paxstone.
Great.
It's from High Times, and it is a study that finds Australians support cannabis use over smoking tobacco. A new study by the Australian Institute of Health, a new study by the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare reports on perceptions and attitudes towards drug usage in the land down under. I'm sorry to all our Australian friends.
That's pretty good as far as my ear hits.
It was fucking a wreck. But and I know we do have friends in Australia. I love when we look at our stats and we're like, yeah, we have friends down under.
We also have negative listens this week from Australia.
This week they're like, unsubscribe. So anyway, that's basically it, is that this new study coming out of the Institute of Health and Welfare is analyzing 2019 data from a household survey, and it's shedding light on just how much progress Australia has made surrounding cannabis perception, because historically Australia has been pretty anti-cannabis, and now people are saying 20% of respondents supported regular cannabis use, which is more than the 15%, which seems high, who support tobacco use. I guess maybe they just support the right to like choose
maybe
to use tobacco. I don't know. That's, basically like the attitudes are changing. I mean, they're changing around the world. It's like such an interesting global shift. And as you have places like Israel and Germany and Canada and Uruguay really, showing that like you can legalize cannabis medicinally and for adult use, and it like is good for the country, it's good for the nation, it's good for the economy. We'll see what happens here. Australia's taking note. That's
really interesting. It's interesting too, I think, generationally about what generations smoke cigarettes and enjoy tobacco versus not. I think when I do go overseas, I'll actually learn how big smoking is and how surprised I'm going to be that it is as big as it is.
Right.
Because here I feel like once once cigarettes were once you couldn't smoke inside, once there was no smoking sections, planes, all of those things, it seems like, 3 generations later, people might vape, people might like hit a jewel, but the idea of like a pack of cigarettes has kind of phased its way out.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to go across the ocean and see what tobacco use is really like.
Yeah, what does it look like in Edinburgh? What does it look like in Amsterdam? I'm pretty sure that, yeah, well, I guess I don't know. I guess when I visit you, we'll see.
Yeah. What do you
It's
think about the idea of Australia being a bit ahead of the curve on all of this? Because I will say, as I ask you a question, then answer it before I ask you the question.
Go for it.
What do you really think about
I don't know if they're
well,
ahead of the curve.
no, I feel
No.
like I've always heard it's like a place that, and again, I don't like to read. I just like to say shit.
Uh-huh.
I've always heard that it's like people were sent there as a prison, and so it's
Oh,
kind of a
yeah.
hellacious, dangerous place to be. So the
Uh,
idea of like weed being poo-pooed upon is kind of surprising.
I don't know how those two relate exactly. You think that was because it started out as a penal colony that, what?
Well, it's because like every time I hear people talk about Australia, and I've never been there, and I would really like to go there, especially to do comedy.
Mm-hmm.
They always describe it like Mad Max Fury
Oh,
Road,
no,
and
that's
so
so
I'm like,
crazy.
I,
You've watched Love on the Spectrum, right?
I love Love on the
You know
Spectrum.
that's set in Australia, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes.
That's Australia?
Yes, it's the most like metropolitan, technologically advanced, beautiful, like not Mad Max at all, especially places I think like the big cities, Melbourne and Sydney and Perth. And I've never been either, but I do have friends in Melbourne and Sydney, and like I know that they're living like very cultured, rich lives in
What country did you yell at me for saying I don't think they have cities because I've never seen them?
Australia.
Ah, okay. So I still haven't learned. I still haven't learned.
I think there are a lot of things in Australia that could definitely fucking kill you, and like the whole lore of like the outback, all that stuff does exist, or it's real in reality. But also they have big cities with institutes of higher learning and all that stuff, but they've historically been really anti-weed, and so now maybe you can maybe they'll ease that, and you can go to Australia and do your comedy and smoke some Australian pot.
I mean, truly, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
The idea of anywhere being super on board with weed and cigarettes kind of falling off.
Yeah.
I get excited about that.
The first time I flew to Ireland, you could smoke on the plane.
Really?
Yeah, and I was seated in the non-smoking section, and I remember saying to my dad, I was like, what is that? Like this is all the smoking section.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny. And they served me a full Irish breakfast. I'll never forget that. With like rashers, which is bacon and sausage and blood pudding and eggs and fried tomatoes and beans as an airplane. And the flight was like 45 minutes because I was flying from London.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never had
blood pudding.
Blood pudding.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really delicious.
Honestly, it's like the concept of it sounds really pretty gross, but I love it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I also like marrow. I mean, I've always liked those sort of like parts of creatures.
Ooh, tangent side note.
Yeah.
But again, like it's the end of the day. We're recording an intro. I'm stoned.
Yeah.
And fried.
We're rambly as hell.
There is a new sushi restaurant that just won a Michelin star, and they take bone marrow and they melt the bone marrow over one of the omakase dishes of sushi, and drips of bone marrow go over that raw fish, and then they serve it. And I can't think of a more delectable, delicious thing that I want to try so badly than that.
Whoa. Well,
Yeah.
that perfectly sets up our VIB this week, our very important bud, Michael Walker.
Yeah.
In charge of making some of the most delicious fucking food that you will have.
He's
in
a
LA.
meat king.
He's a meat king. Michael Walker, the meat king. I'm sure that's how he wants to be known.
Yeah.
We've known Michael for.
Well, before we do, let's do buds.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
You want
I
to do
forgot.
buds of the week real
Yeah,
quick?
I was all loosey-goosey and getting into talking about Michael because
Well,
that was a good setup with the bone marrow.
He's still the meat
Come
king, whether
on.
we do it now or in 2 minutes.
Okay, good. My bud of the week this week is Allison, my friend Allison in Chicago. Ali Sue Gerlach is her IG handle. She's in charge of the Chicago Loop Alliance, which is throwing an amazing festival this summer called Sundays on State. They shut down a huge section of State Street for a whole day, 4 times this summer. The first one will have been on July 24th. Or will be. I guess this is coming out before that. So it'll be this Sunday, July 24th. And then there are 3 more dates in September. And Allison and I have known each other for just a really long time, like running around at Burning Man together and stuff and just being lunatics. And to watch her function as this like mad event producer at this like crazy high fucking level, now having known her for so many years, like she's running this shit and it's so cool. And she's just funny and cool and kind, and also has the best legs I've ever seen in a pair of shorts.
She got good gams?
She got good gams.
Ooh.
Yep.
My boat of the week this week is ak.rena.907 Sharina. Yo, I know that like I've been in cars, planes, boats, weird beds, crumped, crampled, crooked. My whole body's in shambles. And she gave me a free massage in Anchorage, Alaska before my 710 show. Shout out Sharina forever. She gave me the compliment of having the most knots in my back of anyone she's ever seen.
Holy shit.
So I am literally sitting up for this episode today because of her. So please, if you are ever in Anchorage, go to her, get a massage. She's a Capricorn queen, and follow her at ak.rena.907. She changed my fucking life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, your face bones do look more relaxed.
When I walked out of there, I straight up was taller. And that is an undeniable fact.
I believe it.
She was like, you look taller. I was like, I straight up feel taller. Like my spine lined up like a Jenga tower instead of a baby shrimp.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, could I say before we get to Michael Walker,
yeah.
because the audio was corrupted from this intro, so we're re-recording it.
Oh, right.
Just as loose and all over the place.
Oh, yeah. As rambly as fuck. I mean, this is...
I thought we were going to like dial it in, keep it tight.
No.
It is what it wants to be.
It's absolutely weed and grub. Loosey-goosey, moosey, juicy. So Michael Walker, the Meat King.
The Meat King.
We've all known each other for such a while, like a good while now, because we've watched him thrive as a fucking podcaster with his amazing podcast, Tender Friends with Eric Wilson. We've watched him thrive as a video content creator. He did us solid, made us some hilarious videos that we should repost when this airs, actually, because he captured us so high. Making a
you want to repost Cobbler?
We should repost Cobbler because I am nonverbal and it's hilarious.
Yeah, don't watch it for the content. Watch it for Mary Jane's arm slowly becoming T-Rex.
I just stand like a T-Rex the whole time and I drink like 10 glasses of water. Michael made those videos. And since then, during the pandemic, he created this entire fucking business that's just thriving. And he's good. Like we said, he'll be at our show. So come through and check him out there. And also just follow him on Instagram to see where he's going to pop up. And he's at Smorgasburg every Sunday. I said that word because I couldn't remember how to say smorgasburg.
And lastly, he sent us a bunch of pictures for the dishes he's making for it. And not only if you get a ticket do you get a free food item from Comfy Pup Michael Walker, but also he's making some custom dishes for that show, and then they will never be seen again, like limited edition crispy bites.
He named one after Archie Moo.
Did he really?
Yep.
Oh, what a meat king.
What a meat king. Stand up meat king.
All right. Our VIB this week. Without further ado, here's our interview with
Michael Walker.
So you miss comedy?
Yeah, I do.
I get that. I think that's where we met, right?
That is where we met. We met at UCB.
Yeah.
Doing improv.
I didn't know this, and I feel like I've known you since I moved to LA, and I had no idea that you guys met at UCB.
Yeah. Yeah, we met in 301. Right?
Wow.
Keep going. I don't remember anything.
It was either 201 or 301.
Smooth at this point.
I mean, we didn't. That's the thing. Is it's like I don't think we spoke to each other in class or anything. It was
it sketch or improv?
Improv. I never did sketch.
Oh, I didn't enjoy anything in improv because I thought I was better than everyone, and so I didn't have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best experience. Like,
I can't believe you just said that out loud.
It's just how I was at that time. It got in my own way. Look, it didn't help me at all.
Yeah.
If you can recognize it and fix the patterns.
I'm not mad at it. I'm just like, I'm actually kind of impressed that you were saying it out
right.
loud. I'm not shocked.
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh my
it's
God,
like
I can't believe it. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah, no. I walked in there with
interesting-
my like dick tapping my knee, and it wasn't appropriate.
Yeah, but not that it's a good thing, but like it's not like you were the only one.
Right.
Like it's like 80% of the people there, and that's why it's such a bad experience a lot of the time.
A lot of dick swinging.
A lot of
on?
dick swinging.
Yeah.
And then that's also why I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not in the game anymore. Like, I don't give a shit.
Take my dick and go home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna pack it in. Yeah, I went. I would go home from class and be like stressed out, like because I didn't like. I'd be like, oh man, I didn't make any friends. Like it's just like that's not an experience you want to have.
Good, no,
it's stupid. So
weird.
Yeah,
the thing was that you did meet, like, I think both of us did end up having great experiences there.
It's just
like
not what
you met your people there, right?
Of course, yeah. It's just not
nice.
what you wrote down on paper.
100% not.
And it's like that's the same. Like I was in a frat in college, and it's like I know
huge realizations about you today.
Same nightmare though. It's like I hated it, and then eventually left in the middle of it. Like I think I deactivated. I studied abroad, and then when I came back, I kind of just never went back.
You had to leave the country to get out of the frat.
Yeah,
It sounds worse than a gym membership.
Yeah,
right,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Seriously.
But I also, I met like my 3 best friends in college there, and we all like kind of left together. So it's like,
Yeah.
on one hand, it's like, fuck that experience. That whole
Right.
shit was a nightmare. But then at the same time, it's like, A, you can't call it a nightmare because there was a ton of great shit. And then B, like, yeah, I met my best friends there. And I would have never met them had I not done that. Ever. So
What
it's
college, what fraternity?
Indiana University, Phi Kappa Sigma, also known as Skulls. They no longer exist there.
Another sexual assault scandal?
I think.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Of course, like,
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Every
thanks.
and not
fraternity
to say,
should
of
be.
course, it's like that's like a bad stereotype, but I think it's more of like, of course, it's like, how else is a frat going to be removed from campus?
Right.
There are heroes,
Yeah.
like especially at Indiana University, a Big Ten university,
Yeah.
like they
Dude,
can do no
Mizzou,
wrong. It's just
anywhere
like,
in the Midwest.
they're so no, but you guys, they raise so much money for Riley Children's Hospital.
Ugh.
You don't understand.
Mhm.
They do such a good job, and they
Through
do
their
such
parties
good
where
things.
they roofie everyone and
It's
get
not
away
just
with
through
it,
their
they
parties, it's
raised-
through like ridiculous like manipulation bullshit, like hierarchy, like status cliques inside of these stupid like
And once you're a fraternity member, you are donating for life to whatever those causes are.
well, they
right?
ask you to. I'm
Right.
not.
Right.
I didn't. I might still get letters from them. Man, I don't want to talk about the frat that much, but the best like story is that there was a hazing scandal after I had gotten back from being abroad and I was still an active member, and they said that they're bringing everybody from nationals down, and we had to conduct literal consultant interviews, like in office space where you sit down with like the bobs and they
Mhm.
interview you, and they're trying to weed out the shitty people because there was like hazing and like all these other things, and nationals was like, oh, we can't have that. Not that it's not happening at every single other one of our chapters, but everybody went in suits because they're little frat boys, and they're like, this is so important, the house is so important to us, and they had all these interviews, and 2 of my best friends showed up, and they took it really seriously, and because they didn't want to get kicked out, and I showed up in cutoff jeans, like jorts, which at the time was controversial. I guess it still is.
Oh yeah, I think even today.
But I had cut off my own. I had a Ramones shirt that I had cut into a tank top because I was like a little punk kid then too.
Seriously.
I had cut it into a tank top, but it was like done so poorly that it looked. You couldn't even tell it was a tank top. You'd be like, "What is he wearing?"
Did you have a safety pin anywhere on your body?
No, but I did have a mohawk,
Oh,
and it was not
Jesus.
up. So it was like, and I think I may have had blue hair at that point. Anyway, and I conducted
Awesome.
the interview like really inappropriately and just like did not pay attention. My 2 best friends got kicked out, and I did not.
What?
I don't know. They like nothing happened.
Right,
I was
of
like, because I was
course.
like, I didn't want to have to do the deactivation email and everything and go through with it. And I was like, great, they're in here. I'm just gonna be a little rude boy.
Mhm.
And no, I don't know. They must have loved it.
They love you.
Because
People love you.
my 2 best friends were like, no, like we like seriously, like we could not have tried harder and had better interviews, like more professional interviews.
Let this be a lesson about trying hard.
Yeah,
100%.
Don't do it.
Exactly, don't do it.
You take one thing away from our lives.
Yeah, don't try hard.
And I didn't even learn that from that. I was, you know what I mean? I should have just been like, yeah, like that should have been the lesson basically. But
Yeah.
instead I was just like, why don't they want to kick me out? Like I was like upset about it.
Maybe the other lesson is be yourself and follow your heart.
That's true.
That is actually the lesson.
Yeah, that is.
Absolutely. That's the nugget.
That's probably why they're like, listen, this little loser isn't afraid to like,
You're afraid of nothing.
right.
And so they were afraid of you.
Yeah.
That's
Love it.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Is that why you started Comfy Pup? Was because you wanted to follow your heart?
No.
Good segue.
No, I don't know. Like explaining Comfy Pup is difficult because in order to explain Comfy Pup, like it's essentially like I have to explain a mini life story because it's not what I do.
That's
like,
what we're
it's not
here
what
for.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a podcast.
Oh,
guess
dude, I
that's
got to
the
take
spot
up
for it.
another 26 minutes. So any stories you
Excellent.
got?
Great. All right, hold on. Let me set the timer now.
Yeah. I mean,
No, I don't know. My parents always loved cooking, and like I always liked cooking, but it's not something that I ever did like professionally. But like I would cook, like I think I was like making dinner at my house with my mom like when I was like 12 or 11, like making like risotto and shit.
yeah, pre Comfy Pup, we came over to your place one night to record your podcast, and you were just making congee
Oh yeah.
randomly, and I was like,
Yeah.
who does that?
I
That's
did
amazing.
that, yeah.
It
I
was
did.
great.
It's a big like it's a big like stress outlet, depression thing to like go and just like cook. Like yesterday, I've been freaking out recently because I'm freelance and I don't have a job right now, and like you know those periods.
Yep.
So I just made like banh mi from scratch yesterday. And like just cause I was like, well, what else would you do? And my girlfriend's like, I don't know, look for a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I have to marinate this pork.
Or I could make you a sandwich.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
Like, oh, did you not want to eat this? That's cool. Like, but yeah, so cooking, I just like have always been doing it. And then I went to school for animation at Indiana University, which was called the telecommunications department at the time, which is a solid tip that like they probably don't really know much about film and television. Because like who calls it telecommunications?
Like hand drawn it? What kind of animation were you
So
studying?
no, that's the problem. Is like I was definitely interested in that, but it's like animation is like something I thought was cool, I guess. And you know, genuinely really liked. Like I only watched animated content when I was in college. I was very like, no, I'll only watch this. But I didn't know anything about it or how to do it. And you know, you study animation at IU, and I learned a shit ton of graphics and a shit ton of After Effects and Photoshop. Which is like really comes in handy with what I do now, like all of like the Comfy Pup designs and the animation. Yeah, like everything we do is made in house by me, which is great, but that's not what I wanted. But also 18 in the Midwest, and like my parents didn't know anything about that. Like I have no guidance, and the telecom department can't give you any guidance because they're teachers at the telecom department at Indiana University. Like they didn't do that.
Right.
I think maybe one of my teachers had lived in Hollywood for a minute, but that's it. So it's like you don't get adequately prepared for the actual real world in the industry to like move to Los Angeles, which is fine because it's like that's not what everyone is going to study telecom for. But there was a big group of people studying telecom that moved out here with absolutely nothing. Like I was like, oh shit. Like my first job as a PA, I was like, holy shit. Like I studied 4 years for this and I didn't learn anything for this. Like I was like, oh my god. And like just like they should be training you on 12-hour days, and they should be training you on how no one cares about you if you didn't go to Cal Arts if you want to be an animator and like shit like that. Like it's just like that's a tough realization.
How to get an internship, how to use a walkie, really anything practical.
How to do your taxes as a freelancer.
Exactly.
I mean, my god,
it's insane. We learned nothing. I learned how to. I just remembered like literally we did a week on coiling cables. And it's just like,
whoa,
that's important, but like that is such a like the physical production is what they taught us, and it was like 20 years outdated. So it's like whatever. But so I moved here and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was an assistant at a company for 3 years, which is way too long to be an assistant at one company. But I just kind of sat there, and I think that's when Tender Friends started, and that's when we met. I was doing a lot of improv, but it was cool because. Or I mean, it's not cool. It was bad because I wasn't progressing anywhere in my life. Like
Tender Friends. I just gotta say, Tender Friends, the hit chicken tender podcast.
Yeah. Yes. So like that was like probably the first thing I did that was like I'm gonna start making my own shit and not be an assistant anymore. And then I met Eric and we started the podcast, and we had been doing that for a while. And at the same time, concurrently going through improv, we'd probably met around the exact same time. I think Tender Friends started probably around the same time we met. And then I think you guys were probably early on you guys were like the first guest that we didn't really know that came on, and we were like nervous. We were like, oh, I don't know them.
Same.
Yeah, I was super nervous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'd seen you perform a bunch by then, and so I knew that you were funny and cool.
Sure.
And so by the time we were on your podcast as guests, I was like, oh, I want them to like
Yeah, that's exactly how we felt
but
too.
You're like, but you're funny and you have great stage presence, so I ain't gonna sweat it. I know it'll be fun.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It was great though. It was so much fun.
We had the best time.
And then like from there, that was really fun, but I had to figure out my like personal life and career. So I left there and got a job at Tastemade, which was not what I wanted to do at the time because I still wanted to be in animation. I was like getting interviews everywhere. Like I probably interviewed for Rick and Morty like 3 times. Like I interviewed for like countless shows and movies, and I didn't get a single job.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, and they would go well. Like they would go really well, but I wouldn't. I
know what it was? No blue mohawk, no cut off.
yeah, that's what. Nah, I don't know.
The jorts.
It's all internal hires. I was brought in to fulfill some sort of.
Animation is like the tiniest of tiny worlds.
But also, looking back on it, I wouldn't hire me either. I don't know anything. They were like, what did you, I remember interviewing for, I think Disenchantment, which was like the Futurama, like what came out. And I remember them asking me what I wanted to do. And like the proper answer, he said like, "Are you interested in post?" And I said, and the proper answer would be like, "Yeah, I'm a little interested. I don't really know much about it, but like it seems interesting." And I think I looked him in the face and was like, "I just want to animate."
Yep.
What the
I only want to
fuck
play the
does that
lead
mean?
part.
Yeah, so he was probably just like, "Nah, man, you got to get out of here." And but even like, what does that mean? Like, even if you're like the character designer, you're in charge of the way it looks. It's like you're not just like animating the whole show. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Nah, man, I just want to be I just want to animate it." And then they never call me back.
Can I tell a quick personal anecdote? When I was in grade 5 or 6 and they were casting the Christmas play, I told them that I only would be in it if I could play it's called Small One, and it was about the donkey that carried Mary to wherever it was, Bethlehem, I guess. And like all the main roles were gone, and I like put my hand up and I was like, "Excuse me, you've overlooked me." And they were like, and there was only one speaking role left, and they didn't give it to me. I think I ended up playing a sheep. But
how did you feel though? Like from then on, like that was kind of
it was a good young age to learn that lesson. I think I was like 10, and I was like, "Oh, that did go well." Okay.
People never learn those lessons. So,
Yeah, I'll never forget Small One casting. Hard day.
But yeah, so when I got a job at Tastemade, it was weird. And I was a coordinator there and doing production, like physical production there. And then I was there for like 3 years. And then over those 3 years, I worked from coordinator to eventually producer there. Because that's like kind of at that time over those 3 years, I kind of decided like, oh, this is my career. I'll be a producer. This is what I'm going to do. My girlfriend's a producer. In very, very different sense. She does like long form reality TV, and I was like straight digital, like only digital companies.
Hey, you're going to like restaurants and filming them cook the delicious Michelin starred food and
that's like
posting it.
That's like I got hired to do production, but then also like I just made a lot of friends at Tastemade, because if you put me at a table, I'll probably make friends with the people there, and they like started putting me on like social media teams and stuff that like I just like, because I was just making friends with people, they'd be like, "Do you want to shoot that?" They'd have an assignment at a cool restaurant and I would be like, "That sounds cool." And
what was that egg thing? It was like gold fleck egg.
Oh, the caviar one?
Caviar one.
Yeah, that was a crazy day, which like makes me sound snobby that I hated it. But it was, I had to go to somewhere in Beverly Hills. I wish I remembered where. And like the dude gave me it was like a coddled egg or something, but he put like an insane amount of caviar on top and then like gold shavings or whatever. And I like shot it. So I would go and just like shoot the Instagram stuff and then eat it on camera. And I was like, that's good. It was a lot of caviar and it was really briny. And I was like, that's great. I'm caviared out. And I think it was my first time having caviar like that. I was like, great, caviared out. And they brought me back down and he fucking made a baked potato and he cut it open. And he filled it with like creme fraiche, and I was like, sick. This is great. I'm very full. You just made me eat like a egg, and then at that same time, I had to eat lobster. What's the with the hollandaise shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
lobster Benedict. But then they put the same amount of caviar on that, so I'd eat that. He took me down. He cut open the baked potato and fills it with the creme fraiche, and then fucking takes an entire thing of caviar, like the entire big tin of caviar, and just plops it right in there. Oof. And then they're like, go ahead and shoot it. And I was like, great, I'll take it outside and I'll shoot it. And I was shooting it outside and everything, and it's great. And I'm thinking like, I can't eat any of this. But it's like a $400 potato just like chilling. And they like put the gold shavings on it. And I'm like, I can't have any of this. And I had to shoot like an eating shot. So I ate it. And then I look over and the entire back house is standing just watching me. Including like the super fancy French chef that they had. The reason they were doing it is because they flew him in from France.
Oh my God.
For like a residency. And he's just standing there staring at me. And like, I can't be like, hey man, I don't want this. So I ate the whole fucking potato in front of them.
Oh my God.
And then I think I went home and threw up. I mean, I ate like 2 full tins of caviar in under an hour.
That sounds like Scarface kind of situation.
It's ridiculous.
Like the piles of cocaine.
Right, yeah.
It's just like,
it was ridiculous. But I do miss that stuff. That was fun. But like that wasn't even my job. Like I said, like it was like those were added perks because I had friends in other departments and they'd be like, yeah, you seem like you'd be good at this. You want to do it? And I did. Which was cool. And then I mean, in that exact same note, I made a lot of friends with the culinary teams. And then at the same time, my mentor there, his name was Michael. Shout out Michael Gora. He's the best. He used to get me involved in so they would cater the whole office. And there would be like 100 people. Not often, but like Thanksgiving, we would throw a massive Thanksgiving dinner. Like one day, Michael Gora decided he wanted to do a massive pancake breakfast to give back for something that we had done recently, like as a company. But the thing is, like with Tastemade, a lot of the time, it's just like, we're going to do this, but like we're doing it in house. Like we're not going to hire somebody to come do pancakes and all that stuff. So Michael was like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it ourselves. And like, I was like his little right hand. So he would teach me how to make pancakes for 200 people, like at once. And I would do, I think one Thanksgiving, I alone cooked like 6 or 7 turkeys, and then we like carved them and served the whole office. Like we had a massive Thanksgiving dinner. I think we did like 5 or 6 of those. And I fucking loved it. Like I was like, this is sick. Like I don't want to, because at the same time I was like doing paperwork and like making budget trackers for different shows and stuff. And I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't ever want to do this. Like, I want to do this.
Was this around the time when you were making that giant chicken
So
tender?
that it led into that. So I was doing that stuff. And my friend Lawrence, who does comedy, did like a spec show called Young, Broke, and Bougie, where it was like, he does a lot of mixed stuff where he'll do a show, but it also ties in with like a sketch series. So he shot it like it was like a spec show to pitch to networks. And he filled like this church in, I think, Pico Union. Like he filled it. He had like a show in there. It was really sick. He had this cool thing on the outside. And he's like, as part of the show, it's really important to me that I have the world's largest chicken nugget. And at the same time, I was in Tender Friends.
Yeah.
And like he had already dropped like the promo for the show that said there was going to be the world's largest chicken nugget there, and he had he didn't even put any thought into how he was going to do it. Like he just said that I was going to be there, and he texted me and was like, you do Tender Friends, you eat all the chicken tender places, and you have good like rapport with all the places. Do you think there's going to be anywhere that would make me the world's largest chicken nugget? And I just was like, no, like absolutely not. Every one of those places hates us. Like and it's not even if they don't hate us, they don't give a shit. And it's like, Lawrence, do you understand? Like the world's largest chicken nugget, like right now, I think it was 56 pounds. At that time, it was like 56 pounds. I was like, this is like a huge undertaking. No one's going to do that for you. And then he was bummed. And then that was like the first time I was ever like, oh, I'll do that though. Cause like I was friends with all the culinary people and I was doing all those things, and I had seen people just like doing crazy shit at Tastemade, and it's like, it sounds bad, but it's like, it's kind of true. Like they didn't know what they were doing. The whole thing is that you just like figured out how to do a lot of it.
Baby.
That's it. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man, I can do it if you pay for all of the materials, because it's going to be about, 70 pounds of ground chicken. And it's like, where am I going to get that? And like, they didn't pay me at all, but I was like, if you can source all of it, if you can get it all to my house, I'll make it for you. So like a week later, they found a distributor to send 70 pounds of ground chicken to my house. And I had my friend Duncan come over, who like didn't know, he's just like my friend. We bought a bunch of big buckets from Home Depot, and we mixed it. Like I bought panko, and see, like it was fully, like it literally was,
I was
like,
gonna say, did you season the chicken?
it was like a 1-to-1 recipe. Like I took a recipe for chicken nuggets and I blew it up to make to a 70-pound nugget, and it was totally edible. We cooked it in my home oven. It ruined it.
Yeah.
And then it was so cool. I have so much video content and pictures from that.
Send us for this when we drop
I will.
Please.
It's never seen the light of day. I always wanted to edit something together, like, because I have enough for like a really solid like 3 to 5 minute piece on it, but I just haven't gotten around to like doing it. But we have like so much insane content from it. But yeah, we did it in my home, and then it looked great, but they refused to find us somewhere to keep it. Okay, so the whole thing is that he wanted it to be the Guinness one. It did not clear Guinness because Guinness says it needs to be eaten. They would not give me a walk-in freezer or refrigerator space anywhere to store it, and it had to sit in my refrigerator for 3 to 4 days, which I was like, this is not safe. This is a home refrigerator. It literally was the only thing that fit in my refrigerator. We had to take everything out.
Like when you go to check the fridge stoned at night and you open it and you're like, oh yeah, chicken
right?
nugget.
The
Oh,
world's
Yeah, I would.
largest.
That's like, I would be like, hell yeah, that's right. Scrooge McDuck on in. But yeah, and then we took it to the church, and we had to refire it in the church oven, and then the church oven lit on fire in the middle of a service.
Oh my God.
It was sick.
Wow.
So yeah, we
nobody
nailed
could
it.
eat it.
Nobody
But
could eat it.
You couldn't eat it.
But we weighed that shit and we broke the record by like 5 pounds.
That's so awesome.
It looked beautiful. I'll send you guys the pictures. It looked like a real nugget. Like it was like the proudest I had been up to that moment. And then didn't do anything for a couple months. And then the pandemic started. And then I got let go.
From Tastemade.
Yeah. Which was sick because I fucking hated it. Like I love, great experience. A lot of the shit was great. But also I learned that I don't like that job.
It was the right time.
I don't want to do this. But like it was really scary at that point in my life because it's like, this is what I do.
Right.
What else do I do? Comedy, like, when am I going to get paid for this shit? And then it's like also, it's like, I didn't have the space in my life to grind on it to even like make 100%. Something. So I was just like, what the fuck am I going to do? And I got let go and then kind of started thinking like the last like year of Tastemade, I thought a lot of like, I want to be in the culinary sphere doing the culinary stuff on camera. Cause I had friends, like I had a friend who was a assistant editor there and she switched over and I was like, damn, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Like, and all she had to do was ask. Of course I would ask, it's a totally different department for me. So I would ask and they go, no, we like you where you're at. And I would be like, sick. Right. So then when I got let go, I was like, great, this is my chance. I'm going to do this. But the pandemic was happening. There were no shoots and everything. But at that same time, there was the protests and like civil unrest was happening. But COVID, I was terrified of going out, and my girlfriend and all of our friends were going to all these protests. But I was like shaking, scared of like COVID. So I started cooking stuff and sending them with it. Like, so I would make like peanut butter and jellies and like bean burritos and stuff. And I would like send them with it
to feed the protesters. And
I would like, I put like a little tag on it that said Food for Protest LA. And it had like our Instagram. And so they started handing it out there, and it just like got in the hands of like the right people that started DMing us and being stoked about it. And like, it went from me sending like my girlfriend with like 20 burritos because it was like, I can do this for my kitchen. Michael Gora taught me how to make pancakes. Like I can do this. Like I can. Yep. And at the start, it was only like 20 burritos and like 10 sandwiches. But then I would get people DMing me and being like, let me do it. So it would be 40 burritos and 20 sandwiches because my girlfriend would take 10 and then another group would take. And then I would be like loading people up with it. And then it got to the point where like it was groups of people and I would be like 50 burritos and like 50 sandwiches.
It's a lot and it's great.
Yeah, it was sick. It was crazy. It was like the response was like so cool. And we're getting like donation money. So at first it was like I was just paying for all of it. And like it's like black beans, onion, peanut butter. It's like cheap. Mm-hmm. So I was like, whatever, I'll load as much as I can physically. I'm physically able to into this. But like by like the third week, we were getting like, I think by the third week we had like $2,000. Like people were just donating from our Instagram handle. Like they would like find us on Instagram and then donate money. So I could just like keep buying shit. So I did. And I think we ended by sending like 3,000 meals out or something in like 2 months or something. It was crazy. And then once the protests stopped happening, we started stocking community fridges and we just like did it until all the money was gone. And then the money was gone, and then I still didn't have a job, and things started to open back up. I was like, oh, shit, like, what am I going to do? And then I started getting some culinary assistant jobs, but it's in the same situation I'm in now. It's like, even if you're, like, good at your job, like, it's so hard to find freelance work sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I would just sit there and do nothing all day, and then I started making hot dogs and Italian beef because we have Portillo's out here, which is, like, Chicago comfort food, but I didn't want to drive down to Buena Park because I was going down like once a week because like there was nothing else to do and I just wanted Italian beef.
You were going to Portillo's.
Yeah.
I know.
Go ahead, Mary
Sorry,
Jane.
I've never had Portillo's.
That's fine.
I've been called out for it.
I have to say,
sorry.
The time is over.
Oh, well, because I can come and eat your food.
That, but also they sold like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh.
And the quality is declining like significantly. You're getting less on the bun. Like it's just like it sucks. It doesn't suck. I'm still gonna eat the shit out of it, but it's like, yeah, it's just not the same.
It's not a home restaurant anymore.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. It's yeah. So that's a bummer. But I was going down there all the time. And then I don't even remember who. Somebody was like, you should just sell it here. I mean, I think it was probably Ellen.
Yeah.
She's like, you should just sell it. And I was like, I couldn't do that. Like, why would I do that? Like, I got to find a job. Not that like it was ever going to be like, this will be your job, because it's like, that's an insane.
But something that she your girlfriend Ellen recognized that you love this. You
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going down there, and so she's like, "Well, I can support."
Yeah,
how-
she's like,
how
it makes sense. She's like, you've
much
always
you
wanted
like
to
it.
do this. It's like, I've always known that maybe one day I'll sell food somehow. I don't know
Yeah.
how, if it's going to be a truck or something, but like, so whatever. So we started doing it. Like, I think the hardest thing was that I had to go to my parents and be like, hey, like, this is what I'm going to do now. Like, I know that, like, because they've always been super supportive of what I wanted to do always, but it's not like they necessarily understand. Like, they don't even understand production and all that stuff. They have no idea.
I will say, Jeff Bezos started Amazon by borrowing $300,000 from his parents to then sit in his garage and sell books.
Right.
So, you know, the fact that
yeah.
your parents were like, you want to make food and create Comfy Pup for a living? And they were like, go for it.
They were
it's
skeptical.
huge.
They were like, I don't know. And then they did like well, let us discuss and we'll call you back. And then they like called me back and they're like, all right,
Wow.
we'll help you out. They helped me buy the cart and everything and get everything started up. I think like at the same time, you know, like with Tender Friends, we had met Eric Greenspan and I was like, yo, you know, can you help me? I was trying to stage. Really what it was is I was trying to stage anywhere I possibly could. I hit up every single chef contact that I had ever made from Tastemade and tried to stage for them. That's kind of really what the impetus was for starting. I think Greenspan was like, you should hit up Bar Bandini because they host pop-ups. That's what it was. Greenspan was like, you should hit up Bar Bandini because they host pop-ups. I can't have a stage right now because we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
I just want to interrupt real quick to add context that Chef Greenspan he's been on like Iron Chef America.
mhm.
He's world renowned.
He's the man.
He's
yeah.
the fucking man. And I just
Yeah.
wanted to add a little context to that because his grilled cheese is amazing. We had
yeah.
it. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. We
so
had it
good.
at the Super Bowl party.
It was
Oh,
crazy.
you like, yeah.
He's
So
legit.
he used to have that grilled cheese restaurant
Yeah.
and it was sick, but it's gone.
And also for anyone listening and me who doesn't know what staging is, what is that
Oh,
mean to
it's
stage?
interning. It's like kitchen interning.
Okay.
I don't even know if you get paid. You might get paid now, like a little bit.
I think now you have to.
You
by
have to,
law.
because like
Okay.
it's like it being an intern. It's an intern. You're an intern,
Got it.
and it's where you learn.
An apprentice, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like clear. Like, you know, you can take in a stage that knows things, but it's also like clear that I don't know any. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's the understanding as I'm here to learn.
You might be sweeping the floor and just watching.
Totally.
Right.
And I was down, and I hit up a ton of places, and just it was at the height of the pandemic, so everywhere was like, we would love to have you, but it's too dangerous. And I was like, great. So he told me to hit up Bar Bandini. I hit up Bar Bandini, and I was like, I heard you guys throw pop-ups. I'd love to stage for you. And they were like,
Oh.
fuck does that? Like, no.
What is
They're like,
stage?
we host pop-ups.
Do you have a pop-up?
We're a bar. That's literally, they're like, you can have a pop-up here. And I was like, oh no, I don't have a pop-up. Can I stage for your pop-ups?
Oh,
Like I said it like
wow.
again or something, and they were like, no. No. You have to, like, you can have a pop-up here. Do you want to have a pop-up here, buddy? And I was like, yeah.
Skip ahead to being your own boss.
I was like, yeah, I want to have a pop-up.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That sounds
so
good.
then that's like literally they were like, listen, the spot's open for you.
Wow.
You buy a cart, come do a pop-up, or don't. But that's about it. And then that's when I was like, all right, I got to get a cart. So I hit up my parents and I was like, I need you to help me get a cart. They helped me get a cart. And then like, I think like 3 weeks later, we had the first pop-up with Bar Bandini.
We came through.
Yep.
You guys came through Friends and Family Day?
yes.
Yes, that was like
we even
maybe-
hopped on the phone and asked, and I pitched a bunch of shit, and you were like, absolutely not.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wait. Somebody
Like
I think it
menu
was-
items?
Yeah, what did
Oh.
you pitch? Cuz I'll do it now.
Well, I want to get into your menu and your food in a second,
Yeah.
but like I think Bar Bandini sold out, right? Your first one.
Yeah, but that's like your Improv 101 show. You got a packed ass audience,
Fuck
of
yeah.
all friends and family, and then your 201, it's like crickets, and you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
Oh no.
oh, this sucks.
Yeah, you have to bring in people who don't actually just like
Yeah.
live with you.
First pop up we sold out. Second pop up we did all right. Third pop up one person came.
Whoa.
Which was tough.
That's devastating.
But that's the
Yeah.
only time that's ever happened.
And it was still a pandemic.
It was still a pandemic. Bar Bandini, you know, it's not the greatest spot. You're in the back. It's a great spot, but you're in the back. So it's like, unless you're going to Bar Bandini, no one knows you're there.
Yeah, you have
Unless
to know
you
where to
promote,
go.
you know what I mean? And at that
Mhm.
time, we had like 50 followers. Like, nobody knew we were there.
Right.
Like,
That's also the Brian Regan story. If you all know that stand-up comedian,
Brian Regan.
The first time he did an open mic ever, he describes it as he just blacked out and doesn't remember what happened, but he destroyed. And so they invited him back because they were like, "Who is this magical kid?" Crickets, just
Yeah.
absolutely bombed. And they were like, "You know, whatever." Comes back the third time, one laugh. and now he's, you know, selling out arenas all over. But it was that first day, that blackout first day of beauty that like gave him the push to be like, well, if I blacked out once, I can black out again.
Yeah, of course.
Know? Totally.
But that also on the flip side is scary because then it's like when it doesn't happen, when it stops, I don't know. It's just like even with
you're
like,
doing really well, man.
I mean, we're even now in like Smorgasburg though, and we'll have weeks that it's just like, oh shit. Like shit is terrible, and you're like, why is it so bad? And then the next week you like fucking smash it. It's like I think the pandemic fucked everything up in terms of like ability to track just like a business at all. Like some Sundays were just like fucked. And it's like I don't know if it's because of the pandemic, but it's just like I think the way people operate their lives are different now. You know? Right. People aren't like I don't know. I don't make any general statements about what people are doing.
I don't know. I find that no one has a routine anymore. And a lot of people are kind of excited about that. There's a freedom in the chaos that's happening right now.
Oh, I'm living fully in the moment.
Yeah. It's sick.
And every day is completely different depending on whatever I want that day. I have no routine. And it probably isn't healthy, but that's what I'm doing right now.
Man.
Yeah, man.
We live in LA, man. You don't have to have
Yo, I don't have kids.
Hell yeah. If I want to sell a hot dog, I'll sell a fucking hot dog.
That's
if I don't, I have to.
You have to.
Yeah,
they're great. They're as somebody who just performed in Chicago for a week and ate Chicago dogs. Your Chicago dog is the best Chicago dog.
Thank you. And I don't like to be egotistical, but I think we are the best Chicago dog.
Absolutely is. Okay, so let's get into the menu a little bit. You got Chicago dogs.
We do Chicago dogs. So now that we're in Smorgasburg every Sunday, we have Chicago dogs, Italian beef, and a fried pork tenderloin sandwich. Hailing from Indiana, not Iowa. I think they're the same, but I went.
And you can add a little hot honey to that.
You can add hot honey. We use Zab's hot honey, which is Zab's is a sick company. I don't know if you know them. Mm-hmm. They're like an LA based hot sauce company, and they make hot honey, and it's excellent. But that's at Smorgasburg. Everywhere else, we kind of do whatever we want to.
Are you still doing fries too?
No, I'm not allowed to at Smorgasburg because he curates everything. Very specifically, there's already a guy who his thing is hand cut fries. Mm-hmm. And when they told me I couldn't do hand cut fries, I was like very upset.
I mean, your fries are like fucking incredible.
To the point where I was like, maybe this isn't right for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had his fries, super frites. And I was like, damn, I never have to make fries again. Like these fries are sick.
That's what's up.
So I was like, whatever. Like, and it's true. Like his fries are just unstoppable.
I don't want to talk about his fries. Sure. I want to talk about your fries. Sure.
But I do make fries.
Cut, they're delicious.
They're hand cut. They're delicious. We do them. I actually don't do them at all anymore because. So, are you familiar with Benny Boy Brewing? Mm-mm. It's a new brewery in Lincoln Heights. It's so sick, and not to like sound like how did this happen about it, but it's just like from day one, they're wall to wall people. Like they are packed, and I feel like other places, like we've done breweries in the second month of them being open, and there's no one there. It's insane. But that place pops off every single night. And we went there for a pop-up and we did French fries. And it's a cart and it's a steam bay. So basically it's like, it's not a big deep fryer. It's not a full-size deep fryer. It's a deep fryer that you replace a steam bay with and you put the deep fryer in it. And you can do about 1.5 orders of fries a minute. Mm-hmm. Or I mean, one at a time. And we're hand cut. These are hand cut fries. They take about 6 to 7 minutes. We had a lineup of almost 55 orders of French fries.
Oh no!
On that night,
I don't know what 55 times 7 is, but it's a lot.
We tried to do it in the moment. Like it was like I like almost threw up behind the tent. Like it was, it was such a fucking bad night.
Fry anxiety. That sounds awful.
Also, that's the best. That's the best night we've ever had. We crushed it that night. Like we literally have never outsold that since then. But I would never ask for that again. It was terrible. My poor. I have a guy who helps me, Donnie. I felt so bad for him. He had a megaphone. We have a megaphone to try and because it's sometimes too loud. It was so loud he had to march through the crowd screaming people's names on the megaphone, and it was doing nothing. It was awful.
It's so crazy.
Stress.
Would you say that your pork tenderloin sandwich is better than your Chicago hot dog?
They're different.
That's hot dogs and pork sandwiches, Mike.
At Smorgasburg, we always tell people that people are like, what should I get? And we're like, the hot dog is a snack, and then the other two are more of a substantial sandwich. So if you're trying, because Smorgasburg is actually it's so sick to be a part of. I absolutely love it, but it is really difficult to compete because everyone has the best of their shit. everybody has something Instagrammable and delicious, and he curates it really well, so it's all very different. But it's like, if you're going there and you want a lobster plate, you're probably not going to want a hot dog. Like, it's just like, if you have that thing in your mind that you want, you're probably going to go get it. So I feel like the pork tenderloin is like, we're trying to get to the point where like that's the thing that people want. People are coming here for that.
What I love about it, and I don't know if this is an Indiana thing or not, is how big it is compared to the bun.
Yeah.
Like it's like the bun is gonna be standard size bun, and this tenderloin sandwich is, like way beyond.
It's comical.
Bun. It's fucking hilarious, and it's very fun to eat.
And it used to be big. Now it's like, I'll send you guys a picture of how we do it now. We'd like probably double the size, because
Really?
once we got into Smorgasburg, I stopped doing French fries, which means we lost a basket. So I don't need to use baskets anymore. So we used to try to contain it inside of like a fryer basket, and it would like get a weird shape. But now we just like pound them out to be like this big. It's like the size of a dinner plate.
It's like a schnitzel, basically.
It
right?
is. I mean, that's what it is. So the
Essentially.
pork sandwich, I think, was in Indiana because they had such a high percentage of German immigrants that served. It's a schnitzel sandwich. It literally just is a schnitzel sandwich. But I think instead of breading with whatever they breaded it with, it was breaded with Ritz crackers or saltines, because that was like what was around or something. And then it just developed into the Indiana Hoosier pork tenderloin sandwich. But it's a German schnitzel sandwich. That's what it is. It was made by German immigrants. Same with Cincinnati chili. That's something that we do a lot. That's just Greek chili. That's like
What's the ingredients in there?
So there's it's a meat chili, no beans, stewed in tomatoes and stuff, and then it's got cinnamon, nutmeg, a whole bar of dark chocolate.
What?
Yeah, and it's like, but that's just Greek chili, but everyone calls it Cincinnati chili. And it's like, we'll keep calling it Cincinnati chili because it's like,
until they come for
it's
you.
a regional thing. No, but I mean, like, it should have been called Greek chili the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't invent it. The Greek immigrants brought it. You know? It's Greek chili.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, it's like, that's the stuff I'm learning, like, while I'm doing this. And it's just like, damn. Like, I don't know.
I do want to get back to when you yelled at me. Because you were right. When we did Friends and Family and tested everything, what were you going to say?
No, I'm just looking at you because I'm excited to hear what you got yelled at for.
Because we all hopped on the phone after Friends and Family, where you gave us one of everything that you were thinking about putting on the menu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I think at
so
that time it was
good.
casseroles too, right?
There were casseroles on there, and the sweet potato one I think it was
green bean.
Yeah,
green bean.
casserole.
Those were delicious.
Yeah, they're good.
And it was so exciting because it was like fucking height of lockdown, COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, it was the first time that I had gone out and seen any friend anywhere, and then you supplied us with all of this bounty, and we got to just like have a great time eating it. It felt like one of the best days of my life. It was
that's great.
Awesome.
That was like the worst of the worst too. The food's so much better
Dude,
now.
it was so
like we had no idea what
good.
the hell we were doing at that point.
I think
so
we
good.
still have pictures from that Friends and Family taking them in Mary Jane's backyard.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
yeah,
throw
I
them
have-
up for this too, just to
I have a
show.
separate album in my phone that has all of those.
Oh, that's awesome. So I pitched, we were talking about price points for
Yeah.
everything because you weren't sure what your margins were going to be. And then I go, well, why don't you do ketchup on the side? And you go, absolutely not for the hot dog.
For the hot dog, yeah.
And you put your foot down on the phone. I heard your foot go down through the phone.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn right, dude.
It's
You've
funny that
got
you
a
bring
vision.
that up.
Uh-oh.
It's a no ketchup situation.
Yeah, you don't put ketchup on a Chicago dog, but here's the thing about that. Why do you got to be an asshole? Like, if somebody wants it, just do it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's not how Jean-Georges Von Durichten
Listen,
does it.
okay, so this is the compromise, though. Okay, one day at Smorgasburg, we lost out on like $120 because we sell kid hot dogs, and so many kids wanted a hot dog with ketchup.
Well, because they're children.
I
Yeah.
understand that. That's fine, but we didn't have the ketchup, so they didn't get it. We
Uh,
lost out on like $120 of hot dogs. So
Okay.
I bought a bulk thing of packets. If somebody wants ketchup, they can have it. You can have as many packets as you want. I'm not going to put it on there.
But you
I'm not
better
gonna touch
bring
it.
a child.
No, listen. If somebody wants to put ketchup on a Chicago dog, I think it's fucked up.
It is fucked
And
up.
I think you're stupid. Like, certainly.
for anyone,
But also, like, if you want it, like, eat it how you want it.
for the uninitiated, what is on a Chicago dog?
It's an all beef hot dog. It's a pickle spear, tomato slices, raw onion, green relish that's like super neon, sport peppers, which is like kind of hot. They're kind of like In-N-Out peppers, yellow mustard, and celery salt, and it's on a poppy seed bun. Oh, it's on my shirt.
fucking delicious.
It's delicious.
It's
Run
a
it
lot
through
of
the garden,
shit.
baby.
It's a lot of shit.
Get out of here with your ketchup.
Yeah, but like
Weirdos.
again, if you want it, please ask me. I'll give it to you.
And you heard it. Every packet costs $120.
No, yeah, right. Yeah, sorry. Once we get out of the pandemic times, maybe it won't be. But there's the price of gas, the price. They don't. That's the thing they're not talking about. Ketchup, expensive. It's very expensive.
I think it's so cool too because, and I want to get to what we're doing eventually.
Yeah, we got to.
I also think it's so cool that kind of like the weed community, there's the underground pop-up community where you're like you're in the know of big things that are either coming out and dropping, or you're doing like sick collabs with different people. Like you really know how to cook now, and you have like real vision about how to execute things.
Yeah,
it's fucking cool, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean it's cool. I like going back to like the improv, like coming home from class and like being like freaked the fuck out because I couldn't make any friends. Like that's the environment that I surrounded myself in for my entire time out in Los Angeles. And like I did make friends. We met and like I made friends, but it's like in the moment, you need like better interactions in the moment. And it's hard to find those people in the comedy scene, I think.
Sure is.
But literally the second I entered the food scene, I had like 50 friends. Like it's fucking insane.
That's so hard.
And there are assholes for sure.
Yeah.
But like not like not really. Like there are, I don't know, just everyone is so nice and everybody wants to like help each other out and everybody wants to collab because it's fun as fuck. Like I'm bored. A lot of time I get bored selling my stuff. Like why would I not want to do an Italian beef hot dog Italian beef pizza with my friends? Or like I met my friend Diego who runs Estrano Pasta, which is like the probably craziest pop-up in Los Angeles. And like he alone, like he's become like my best friend. Like I like for sure, like he is my best friend. And like I would have never met him if he didn't just like chili dogs and see it on Instagram and like be like open to just going out and meeting someone else who sells something on the street like he does. You know? Like he's gotten me into like all of the places where I've learned all of the culinary stuff. I've worked in like prep kitchens with him and just like, yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. Like I've never been a part of something that was so collaborative and so just like open to everybody. And it's so crazy. You would never expect it to be like that because there is a lot of competition because we are all fighting to pop up at the same places. And a lot of times, especially I'm not a smash burger place, thank God. But can you imagine being a smash burger place in LA?
Not after Burgers Never Say Die won.
Right. Yeah. I'm a Love Hour boy.
Don't know him.
They're Smorgasburg. But I was a fan of them beforehand. But like, it's just like, and I'm sure that there's beef and I'm sure that there's a lot of shit if you're one of them. Sure. I know that I hear about the barbecue drama.
Smash burger beef.
No, the barbecue wars right now are fucking crazy. And my friends, some of my friends do barbecue and they're like not involved, but they know a lot about it because they watch all the people. But I don't really, I follow all these barbecue people, but I don't
sabotage?
know.
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I can't even speak to it because I don't really know.
All
but
right,
like,
I can't wait to hop on Reddit and just
there's
in.
Like attitudes
Los
and people talking shit on Instagram. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, weird niche industry beefs are like one of my favorite things. Though, because they're endlessly entertaining. Like weed beef is just wild.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a ton of weed beef, and it's just so like at the end of the day, it's like what like.
Yeah. We should talk about what we're doing together before we wrap.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Yeah. I forgot about it. Not really. I'm so excited. Shout out Pacific Stone.
Such a good time.
For real.
So yeah.
So we haven't locked it in on this recording yet, but we are going to possibly be doing a Weed and Grub Comfy Pup collab food item.
We sure am. No, we are. I don't want to sell any of the Comfy Pup stuff. I want to do stuff with you guys. I want to come up with something cool.
That's so exciting.
Because I think a lot of times when people go towards the stonery aspect of the food, it's like so like flaming hot Cheetos, and then we're gonna put Doritos, and then we're gonna put some M&Ms in there. Like, but like I want to like try to make something that's actually delicious and like an actual good. Kind of stonery combo, but not lowbrow, not highbrow either. But just like something delicious.
Middlebrow.
Yeah, middlebrow.
Oh, nice.
Unibrow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, it'll have been announced by now, but we are doing a really cool comedy show at Club TG. Shout out to Pacific Stone for making all of this happen. And they were like, what do you want to do? And we were like, we would love to collab with Comfy Pup and do a Weed and Grub Comfy Pup stand-up show.
Hell yeah.
And it's happening at Club TG, and you can go to the event or you can go to the show description for this episode, click the event link, and get yourself a ticket if you live in LA. And if you don't live in LA, I think we're coming to another couple places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mini tour.
Yeah. So shout out to Pacific Stone too. So thank you so much.
Yeah, for real. It's funny that Pacific Stone is doing this too, because it's like that's probably the brand I've been smoking the longest in Los Angeles.
I think when we all recorded 100%. For the first time, right?
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
I would say it's me. Like I smoked that brand, but like that's an Eric Wilson brand through and through.
Absolutely.
He always has that pack of like the 20 joints or whatever, or 10 joints.
Yep.
Always.
It's Mike's phone.
Pacific Stone
I don't
on
know
the
if that's
line.
ever happened on pod.
Sorry, everyone.
No, it's
So
okay. Do you need to take that?
No, it's from Waverly, Missouri.
Oh,
660-243-9441.
Were you in a fraternity?
What's your hometown?
It's
They're calling to get money.
AKL. Yeah, it's Alpha
right.
Kappa Lambda.
Yeah.
I'm saying that on because it's a spam thing for me to vote for a Republican or something.
Always from your hometown.
Yep, always.
It's a fucking nightmare.
We need you to make this state even redder.
Yeah, right.
Some call like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor. Anyway.
Yeah, Pacific Stone, weed for the people.
Yeah, it is.
Weed and Grub.
Shout out Time
Comfy
Machine.
Pup collab.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
The other cool thing about that too is the location was because of you and your connections in the food industry. So when we went there and we saw like not only how big it was and how great an event we can hold, it was also set up for pop-up success. And I think that's a really cool thing in LA is how many places have thought of, oh, we can bring a food component into our establishment and like really build community here. And I don't know if that's happening other places, but I'm really happy it's happening here.
I hope it's happening other places, but I don't know if it is. And I think we have a perfect storm for it, right? The weather is always great. You can sit outside every single day.
You can smoke in a parking lot.
You can smoke in a parking lot. Like it's just like, everywhere's, but you know, some places implemented it better than others. And TG implemented it arguably the best. That back patio did not exist before the pandemic. That was just wasn't a space.
And it was so cool to hear Nico, the owner, talk about how he constructed that table so people could have like COVID safe interactions while sitting at a table together.
I know.
It's just this like giant platform that also doubles as a stage. It's incredible.
Sick. It's such a well-run bar. It's such a cool bar. And I don't know.
Good vibes.
I've done a lot of fun collabs there, like, and they're just open to whatever they want, like, or to whatever anybody wants. They just want to have fun, which is great.
That's what we're
and that's what we're gonna have.
That's what we're gonna do, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What are your Instagram handles and how can everyone fuck with you?
So we're on Instagram at comfypup_LA. That's for Comfy Pup. My personal Instagram is Michael Walker with 3 R's.
Is there any gold belly in the future or anything?
Nah. I don't think I want gold belly. I don't really know what we're gonna do.
I don't need to put that pressure on you.
Nah, I think about it all the time. I mean, I don't know. You know what I want to do really, because we're in Smorgasburg and I'm really happy rolling there, and I would love to make it a profitable company. And like we are a profitable company, but not by much. Not for me to live on. But what I would love to do is figure out how to get back to my regular life while also having that, because I want to do food styling and I want to do all that stuff, and it's great. But right now, I mean, we've been at Smorgasburg for 3 months. I feel like I'm finally comfortable. Like I don't throw up in the morning on Sundays when I wake up.
Yeah, I'm only interrupting to say Smorgas, for everyone who doesn't know, 60,000 people.
I don't know what the numbers are.
The foot traffic's crazy.
It's crazy
because it's free.
It's the biggest opportunity we've ever had.
Yeah,
I mean, we're used to doing bars for like 120 people, and we sell to like a third of them. You know, and then now this is like, it's like the big times.
Yeah.
But with that, there's been an insane amount of shit to figure out that we haven't even figured out. You know. But the biggest thing recently is that we're officially a Vienna carrier. So we have Vienna beef. It's all Vienna beef, which was hard because they didn't take us seriously for a year. And then, now they do. And
wow, you're
it's just
verified.
Like a whole thing.
You're like,
we're
verified.
Oh, we're verified. Yeah, we have the sign. The sales rep came to my house. He dropped off a sign and an umbrella.
Oh,
what do I do with the umbrella? Like, I don't have a hot dog. I don't have a picnic table. But I don't know. I tried to put it in my backyard, and Ellen was like, "You need to get that out now."
Keeping it real.
I was like, sounds good. I thought you would be excited. Like, then that's what's fucked up
She's
is I
great.
truly was like, she's gonna love this. And then she's like, no, sir.
No.
I was like, but I sell the hot dogs. She's like,
Nope.
get out.
Out of here.
I was like, yeah.
The only thing we didn't touch on is are you doing milkshakes these days?
Dude, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Okay.
So the original, I literally started Comfy Pup to be a Dairy Queen, but soft serve ice cream and ice cream in California is a racket. It's insane.
Yeah.
There's like way more laws and everything. The health department came after me. It was like a fucking horrifying time.
It's one of the items in the regulations around cannabis is that you cannot make
No dairy.
infused ice cream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's extra dairy laws in California. It all needs to be made in a state certified clean room, which is like a fully bacteria free room, and it's kept that way. There's a big one at Italy. I think other places have them, but that's the only way that you can make ice cream legally and package it to go in stores or some shit. But in my facility, my production facility, I can make ice cream in hotel pans. So that's what we do. We have ice cream socials every now and then where we'll make Oberweis in the Midwest. That's like my favorite ice cream in the world. I'm trying to emulate that.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to do that. But a milkshake would be sick.
Yeah.
I just don't, I like that ice cream component is so hard to build out at a pop-up. That I would love to be able to have like a blender and milk and all that shit to like make, but right now it's just scoop floats is like the best we can do.
Oof, a cream soda float? Come on.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited to develop whatever it is that we all come up with.
Oh,
for
we
this
will have some ice
fucking
cream at ours.
show. Yeah.
I know we will have some ice cream. We'll have some sort of float. I want to have some sort of sandwich, like or some sort of easy sandwich, like a hot dog, some sort of offering, like a nacho.
Mm-hmm.
And with every ticket, you're hooking it up.
Yeah, we're gonna get something good, not something like, you know, like a bag of chips. You'll get like a good item
For free.
but they're all gonna be made just for the show. And we'll probably never do them again. We'll do them at our shows, but that's why I want it to like be a special item.
Nice.
Hell
So,
yeah.
Everyone,
Yeah.
make sure you come through.
Yeah,
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
of course.
So
Thank you
excited.
guys.
And also
Thank you.
congrats.
Congratulations on
Thank you
everything.
so much. You too, though. Like when we started, like you look at
I
we're in
know.
a fucking
Feels
studio
cool, right?
right now.
Yeah.
That's
You're an
so sick.
inspiration, man.
Thank you.
Real talk. Follow us at Weed and Grub on Instagram. Oh, we have TikTok now, Mike and Mary Jane, and it's going well. So thank you to Top Tree Studios for kicking us in the ass and making that happen.
Yep.
So follow us on TikTok at Mike and Mary Jane. We have 2 strikes against us. Looking for the third. And
What happens on the third? Do you get booted?
Yeah.
no, they verify you and you get 1 million bot followers right
They're
away.
like, yeah, you did it. You're the real bad boy. We're looking for bad
Great.
boys.
Yeah.
We don't tell anyone that, but
Email us at wg@weedandgrub.com. Leave a great review on Spotify, Apple iTunes, wherever you listen to this podcast. Check us out on YouTube, also at Weed and Grub, and watch this video. Check out what Michael's face looks like.
hey, I forgot my glasses. So this actually isn't what I normally look like. I wear glasses.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.